Welcome to our video sessions on Class 8 Biology. This video is on Chapter 1, Transport of Food and Minerals in Plants. Plants get water and minerals from the soil. These have to be carried all over the plant. The leaves make food by a process called photosynthesis, and this food also has to be carried to other parts of the plant. So, how do these activities take place? Water and nutrients from the soil have to be carried all over the plant. Food prepared in the leaf also has to be carried all over the plant. So there is a transport system in plants which does this activity. In plants such as pine, coconut, neem tree, rose and grass, these are higher plants which have an elaborate transport system that carries water, minerals and food. The transport system of these higher plants is called the vascular system. Primitive plants like the mosses and ferns, they do not have a vascular system. So these plants are called the non-vascular plants, and they do not have a particular transport system, but the food and the minerals are obtained directly from the environment and they are distributed cell to cell. That is why these plants are very small. In this lesson, we will be studying about the transport of food and minerals in higher plants. Higher plants have a well-developed vascular system. It is composed of xylem and phloem. Both xylem and phloem, they extend from the tip of the roots to the tip of the leaves. So what is xylem and what is its function? Xylem is a complex tissue. It consists of both living and non-living cells. The four types of cells in xylem are the xylem vessels, tracheids, xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma. Of all these four, the xylem vessels and tracheids are the main conducting cells in xylem. The xylem vessels are long cylindrical cells joined from end to end to form long tubes. They have lignified walls, that means the walls contain lignin. Lignin is an organic compound which forms the component of such vessels, giving the cells a mechanical strength and support. Lignin makes these cells stiff and provides structural support. Tracheids are also tubular cells but with tapering ends. Their cell walls are also thickened with lignin. So on the whole, xylem conducts water and minerals upwards from the roots. The cells that make up the xylem tissue are specialized to conduct water and minerals. Specifically, the xylem vessels and tracheids transport water and minerals upwards from the roots to different parts of the plant. Xylem fibers are thick-walled cells that provide mechanical strength and support. Xylem parenchyma cells store water and minerals and carbohydrates. Now let us understand the phloem. Phloem is the food conducting tissue in plants. Food material in phloem moves in both the directions, but in xylem, water flows only in one direction. Phloem consists of four elements: the sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Sieve tubes are elongated, they are tubular, and they are placed end to end like tubes. Their end walls have minute pores and are called sieve plates. Mature sieve tubes lack nuclei. They do not have nuclei and they have very few organelles. So their function is to just transport the food material. Food material is transported by sieve tubes of the phloem. Companion cells are located on either side of the sieve tubes. They help sieve tubes in conduction of food material. They are smaller than other cells and they have prominent nuclei. Then the phloem parenchyma cells, they store food. Phloem fibers provide mechanical support to the plant. They are made up of cells called sclerenchyma cells. Sclerenchyma are strong, thick cells that provide support to the plant. So phloem fibers are made up of sclerenchyma cells. What are the functions of the individual components of the phloem? Phloem transports food manufactured by the leaves and young green stems to the other parts of the plant. In this, the phloem parenchyma cells help in storage of food. The phloem fibers provide mechanical support to the plant. So now we have understood the functions of xylem and phloem. Let us see the differences between xylem and phloem. Xylem transports water and minerals, whereas phloem transports food material. Xylem transports water from roots to the aerial parts. Phloem transports food from leaves to all other parts of the plant. Xylem is mostly made up of dead cells. Xylem parenchyma is the only living component of xylem. Phloem is mostly made up of living cells. Except phloem fibers, all others are the living components. Phloem fibers are the dead components of the phloem. The xylem forms vascular bundles with phloem. It is located towards the inner side of the vascular bundle. Even the phloem forms vascular bundles with the xylem, and it is located on the outer side of the vascular bundle. So far, we have understood the transport system. Now we will try to understand the absorption of water and minerals. Plants absorb water and minerals from the soil, and this is done by the roots. The roots have root hairs. Root hair cells are unicellular, thin-walled outgrowths of the epidermis. Epidermis is the outermost layer of the root. So the epidermis extends outward and it forms root hairs. They increase the surface area for absorption of water and nutrients from the soil. Root hair cells are large in number, but they are short-lived. That is, they are there only for a short period of time. They are continuously replaced by new cells, and these new cells are formed at the root tip. Soil particles are coated with thin film of water. This water also has minerals dissolved in it. The root hair cells are in close contact with the water that is surrounding the soil particles. So water on the soil particles is absorbed by the root hair cells. How does this happen? It is done by a process called osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of water through a semi-permeable membrane from an area of its higher concentration to an area of its lower concentration. So in the cell, water concentration is low, and in the soil, water concentration is high. So now water is going to move from an area of its higher concentration to an area of its lower concentration, that is into the cell. This process of movement of water from higher to lower concentration is called osmosis. So through osmosis, water moves into the root hair cells, and therefore concentration of water inside the root hair cells starts increasing. The cells which are adjacent to the root hair cells are the cortex, the inner tissue it is. So now the water concentration in the root hair cells is more than that which is in the cortex. So now water molecules are going to move through osmosis again from the root hair cells to the neighboring cells, that is the cells of the cortex. This process will continue until water reaches the xylem tissue in the root. If you look at the longitudinal section of the dicot root, you can see that the root hairs are there and water is entering through the root hair cells, and you can see the root cortex. So water has to pass through the root cortex and then it has to reach the xylem. You can see that the xylem and the phloem are located in the vascular bundle. Inside the xylem, water travels upward from one cell to another against the force of gravity. This is about the absorption of water. Now what about the absorption of minerals? Most minerals needed by plants are dissolved in the water in soil. Some of these minerals are calcium, potassium, magnesium, and nitrogen. Absorption of these minerals by the roots takes place by two processes. One is by diffusion and the other one is by active transport. What is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of salt or mineral molecules from a region of their higher concentration to a region of their lower concentration. Concentration of mineral molecules is higher in the soil, and inside the root hair cells, mineral concentration is low. So when root hair cells absorb minerals, it is by diffusion, because mineral molecules are moving from a region of higher concentration, that is in the soil. From higher concentration, they are moving to a region of lower concentration. So diffusion happens when concentration of mineral molecules in the soil is higher. This condition is observed sometimes, but normally mineral molecules are more concentrated inside the root hair cells than in the soil which is outside. But root hair cells still can absorb them. This process is done by active transport. So what is active transport? Movement of mineral ions from a region of their lower concentration to a region of their higher concentration is called active transport. So active transport is against the concentration gradient, because mineral molecules are moving from a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration. Lower because soil is having less minerals dissolved in water, and the root hair cells are having more minerals inside. So since this movement is against the concentration gradient, energy is required, and energy is provided in the form of ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. It is a high energy compound which will provide energy to the cell to perform such processes. So now you can understand that active transport is the opposite of diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of salt or mineral from region of higher concentration to lower concentration. Active transport is the movement of salt or mineral from a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration. Diffusion does not involve energy. Active transport requires energy. Let us next try to understand ascent of sap. The upward movement of water from roots to the aerial parts of a plant is known as ascent of sap. Most accepted theory for ascent of sap is the cohesion tension theory that was given by Henry Dickson and John Joly. Let us see how this happens. Root hair cells absorb mineral salts. This is done by active transport. Mineral salts reach the root cortex. Root hair cells meanwhile also absorb water from the soil. This is by a process called osmosis. When mineral salts are getting accumulated in the xylem, water concentration gets reduced. Water then enters root xylem due to osmosis. Root pressure is caused by this accumulation. The pressure developed in the roots due to the continuous inflow of water helps in pushing the plant sap upwards. Water then moves through the xylem up to the stem and then to the leaves. Root pressure is not sufficient to push the water right up to the tip of the leaves. So here another additional force is required, which is called transpirational pull. Transpirational pull happens due to a process called transpiration. Transpirational pull is the force by which the water is drawn upwards from root to leaves. Root pressure is the osmotic pressure within the cells of a root system that causes sap to rise through the plant stem. Root pressure pushes water up, but it is not enough to go up to the leaves. Transpirational pull is the main phenomenon. Therefore, the upward movement of water and minerals from the roots to the aerial parts of the plant against gravitational force is called ascent of sap. Sap is the fluid containing mineral salts and water which is present inside the vacuole of a cell.